Now, Victor Lewis Smith was saying just now that those of you who watched the final of Bob Says Opportunity Knocks, following Victor's revelations on loose ends last week, know that he is, in reality, the alter ego of 8-year-old Tiny Tot... 8-year-old, sorry, Victor. Tiny Tot... Toni Warne, and they might have been rewarded by seeing him not win. Victor, you can now tell us the story behind the story. How did it feel up on stage on the night?
Ned, the audience was wonderful. Some threw bouquets, some just threw up. There was a... Did you read about the kidnapped attempt that happened?
Nope.
Well, I suppose if you are a 28-year-old hunk of beefcake dressed as an 8-year-old girl in a party frock walking the streets of London, you have to expect the odd hiccup. But there was an attempt, yeah.
I understand that was your last appearance as Toni Warne, Victor, for which we can be grateful. But have you had many other offers since that performance?
That's correct, Ned, and several people are now helping police with their inquiries. Clearly, my public is not quite ready for me yet. As you may remember, my most recent Sony Award was for radio personality most desperate to get into television. Don't get me wrong, I quite like radio people, really. They're sort of, well, they're homely, really, aren't they? No, let's not beat about the bush. They're ugly. I mean, just walk along to the loose ends corridor. Sorry, you'd think you're either in some sort of Hieronymus Bosch painting or visiting an amputee ward. But go along to Television Centre, people are glamorous. They spend more money on their Grecian 2000 than is spent on the entire yearly budget for you and yours. TV people go to all the hip joints. Radio people have plastic ones fitted. TV people don't wear cardigans or Airtex underpants like radio people, and they have the full complement of limbs. They're beautiful people, I'm beautiful people, I've got Anthony Howard's bone structure, and frankly, I make Jonathan Ross look like Magnus Pike.
Shut up! Will you please shut up down there? Shut up!
It's Saturday evening in my luxurious penthouse flat in York. Downstairs, my concierge, Mrs. Wibley, is practicing mixed trampolining with a Sea Scout friend she sometimes locks in for days on end.
Oh, that's the phone.
I take the call in the relative quietness of my wardrobe. Hello, speaking from my wardrobe. Oh, hello, Mr. Guardhouse. It's Mr. Guardhouse, who, seeing me last week as Toni Warne, knows I yearn, am destined for TV stardom. Frankly, he grovels to keep me on his rather sad little programme. No, sorry, Guardhouse, you've had your chance. It's too late. Don't try threats. Oh, really? I've seen Margaret Howard's so-called heavies. They'd never get their Zimmer frames up my stairs. Oh, I see. Oh, that's very nice. I can have Ned's job. That's very loyal. How can you be so callous? He's given you the best years of his life. Oh, yes, and how will he pay for the electrolysis sessions and all that prosthetic equipment he has to use? I'm sorry, I have got bigger fish to fry. Goodbye. It's pathetic, really. Without me, Guardhouse will end up as producer of the long-range shipping forecast. Still, plus ça change, as my old granny used to say. Et la nuit, tous les chansons grises. Chacun a su goût et, how you say, où sont les neiges dentro. Unfortunately, she rambled a bit towards the end. A box of black magic and a romantic TV dinner for two. Tonight, it's spicy eggs indienne, though to be honest, I do prefer them out of the hen. A litre bottle of 7-Up, which reminds me I really must clip my goat's nails at some time. They're beginning to ladder the Draylon sweet. A tube of delay cream. And as Goatly gently nibbles at my earlobe, it's off with the Ronnie Aldrich as we switch on Little and Large for maximum ribaldry and intellectual satisfaction.
I say, sit.
Watch it, Dick.
Wee-wees, going to the toilet, and darkies.
They're good.
Sit,
Yeah.
sit,
Yeah.
sit,
Yeah.
sit,
Yeah.
sit,
Yeah.
sit.
They're good.
What's the end for the dinner?
Well, Eddie, I had eggs in the end.
I prefer them out of the end. Sit.
Oh, you pickle. You pickle.
Oh, they're good.
You are. You're a pickle.
They're good, they are. But to be fair, they're crap, aren't they? Imagine stooping to gags of that calibre. I can do better. I want my own TV show, and I want it now. If only the nice Mr. Grade from BBC One would telephone me at the end of this sentence.
Grady says do this.
Mr. Grade?
Yes.
Oh, may I say what an honour. Of course, I'm the lowest speck of Ponfils. A warning to anyone trying to get into television.
You're too good for this earth.
Yes.
God bless your heart.
Don't overdo the smarm.
Braces. Oh, braces.
I became so very unctuous and greasy that before he could offer me a job, I suffered a serious attack of spontaneous oleagination, rapidly turning into a pool of slime.
Grovel.
There will be no play today at Wimbledon. No play today.
Before I knew what was happening, I'd completely liquefied, and Mrs. Tripley, mistaking me for a pool of goat sick, hosed me down the drain, a disposition hardly befitting a rising star in the televisual firmament. Luckily, by the natural and mysterious process of the rain cycle, I found myself next day pelting down on the centre court at Wimbledon. No play on Monday? That was me.
There will be no play today at Wimbledon. No.
Not in its mouth, Mrs. Tripley. Leave it alone.
It's Tuesday evening. Back at the flat, Mrs. Tripley offers no apology or solace. She's just landed a plum job as chief airport virginity tester at Leeds Bradford and is practicing on my whippet. I ask her to leave, but she insists on administering a strong purgative to me. I have an out-of-body experience, and after she's gone, I telephone the local job line for some ideas on how to be a TV star. Unfortunately, at this point, there should have been the sound effect of a ringing tone, but I did make the mistake this morning of buying frozen sound effects, and it doesn't seem to have thawed properly. Bear with me while I just pop it into the microwave. I think that's nearly ready. Right, now for the job line.
Welcome to the all-computerized Wigington Job Centre helpline. Please state now which category you require, and you'll be connected to our tape service.
Well, I want to be a star, really.
Thank you. The following opportunities are currently available in television for those who wish to be TV stars. All applicants must have one of the following grades. Lou or Michael grade in the family is preferred, although in some cases candidates with an equivalent Delfont or Fox may also be considered. Unfortunately, Wenhams are no longer a recognised qualification.
Oh dear.
All television applicants must have O-levels in backstabbing and must have a CSE in saying, "That was wonderful, darlings," to artistes. And when said artistes have left the studio, saying loudly to everyone that that person is sacked and laugh. Needless to say, ugly people need not apply. Instead, try either local government or Radio 4.
Radio 4.
Here is a list of television vacancies.
Oh, good.
The Meteorological Office require a stuntman for Ian McCaskill and a blind seamstress as a tailor to Michael Fish.
No.
There is also a vacancy for night work on BBC Two. The network requires a person to be the little white dot on the screen after close down. Applicants must be completely spherical and able to stand in a pitch black field, wear a white suit and run away from the camera while going boo.
Fortunately, there was at least one job for which I was perfectly suited. Up at the crack of noon, I was at Television Centre being screen tested for my prime-time TV slot.
Okay, Victor, darling, jump onto the dance set now, please.
It's degrading, but what you can hear is my debut as the BBC One revolving globe. Owing to my peculiar physiognomy, Mr. Grade considered me ideal for the role. It's a head job. I stand in a black cloak on the turntable of an old dance set revolving at 33 1/3.
When you get to Britain, don't flap your ears. Right, run it, darling, and cue the music now.
I wear thick blue and green makeup. Look closely. My nose is Southern India, my chin the Republic of Zaire, my left earlobe Guatemala, and my shaving rash the Philippines. Unfortunately, an allergy struck last week, and 15 million people saw a live reenactment of Krakatoa east of Java erupting from my right nostril. Still, it's a living, or rather, it's not, because they gave me the push when I yawned last week and parted the Red Sea. Never mind, I suppose I'll have to slum it back in steam radio with you load of goat's phlegm in the studio. Can I have my money now, please?
Francis, have you come across our Mr. Victor Lewis Smith before?
No, I must say I haven't. Is he what you would call an alternative comedian?
Are you what they call an alternative comedian, Victor, up there in York?
I know nothing owing to a neurological disorder. Neurological.
York. Are you Yorkshireman?
You were born in York.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Are you? I mean, what are you doing up there?
No, not very well, actually.
I mean, are you home, so to speak?
No, I've got halitosis of the gums, so they won't let me in with you lot.
Well, thank God you're there and we're here in New York, that's what I've got to say.
That's I think all for this week.
Very good anyway. I wish you well. I wish you well.
They're taking me back now.
Not a moment too soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Victor. Our thanks to Francis Howard.